They say your life flashes before your eyes when you're about to die. In November of 2012, my childhood flashes before my eyes. All the memories came back to me, but I wasn't dying. I felt more alive than I've been. I remember my mother carrying me on her back for many, many miles. She also carried our possessions with the help of two of my older brothers. Sometimes there would be gunshots on either side of us. The next few weeks we stayed at my grandparents' house in a village called Fantitown. We then walked into the city to stay with my uncle. While we were staying with my uncle, my mother became sick. My uncle carried her on his back to 4 different hospitals, but it was too late. She passed away in his arms. After my mother died, family members talked and decided that it was better for me to be in a safe place, away from the child soldiers and the killing. I went to one orphanage, then to another. These people became like a family. In August of 2004, I left the orphanage to go to the United States. I didn't know if I would ever see Liberia again or the orphanage. In November of 2012, I did. In my senior year at Mobile High School, I had the assignment of volunteering at a nonprofit organization. The goal of the project is to help guide you to discover who you are, to find your passion, and to get some experience in the world of work. I didn't exactly know what my passion was, but I had ideas of traveling the world. The agency that I volunteered for was called American for African Adoption. What we did was travel to Liberia and volunteer at the orphanage which I once were. Before I could go on this trip, I had to come up with $2,500. With the help of Sean and Shanker, a member of the MBO staff and also my mentor, I wrote a letter to send out to family and friends asking for donations. In the end, I raised more money than needed. What I didn't use for tickets was donated to the orphanage. The group we traveled with was doing many different projects at the orphanage, including fixing the leaking roof, repairing unsafe wiring, rebuilding the septic system, and many other projects. The project that my group focused on was building a playground for the kids. While all this was going on, I was getting in contact with Liberian families and friends that I haven't seen or talked to in 8 years, letting them know that I was coming. After a long flight and several layovers, my father and I arrived in Liberia on a Friday afternoon. We were picked up at the airport by family who all wanted to greet me. The taxi was packed with 8 people. Wasiye nelatia suro. We stayed with family for the weekend, exploring what was left of the city after the end of the war. We spent these days surrounded by loving family. We visited my grandparents in Fantitown. We played soccer with the locals and ate traditional food, and stayed up late every night reminiscing with family that I haven't seen in a long time. On Monday, we relocated to the orphanage to begin the project. The construction was hard since we haven't had much experience with construction. After a while, we figured out exactly what we wanted to do, and the playground began to take shape. While we worked on the playground, there were other projects happening around us. Liberian English is very different than American English, so I had to translate a lot. I was also in and out of the orphanage to get supplies for the projects. If something cost $50 for me, it might cost $200 for the white Americans, since the locals will know they were tourists. I had to bargain sometimes to get the fair price. My brother Aaron and my cousin James wanted to spend as much time with me as possible, so they even jumped in to work on the project with us. Although we were only there for a week, it felt like months. When it was getting close to the end of the week, I gave myself a final day to say goodbye to everyone. The experience of returning to Liberia and working on the orphanage has changed me. Sometimes we don't know how good life is until we get out of our comfort zone. We complain about what we have and don't have, not think of how lucky we are to have anything at all. We can all relate to this as human, no matter where we were born. Not everyone gets to do what I did, and that opened my eyes. I love Liberia, and I won't want to be from anywhere else. I love my country. But in truth, life is a struggle to survive. Unemployment is 85%, and the poverty is brutal. It hurt me to see my family struggling. As the only member of my Liberian family to be given the opportunity to have a peaceful life of plenty, I feel that they are depending on me. They look up to me, and I feel their eyes upon me. I want to give them an opportunity. As my mother carried me on her back, as my uncle carried my mother on his back, it's my turn to carry them. This senior project has changed who I am as a person. I'm grateful for getting the chance to go back to Liberia, for my life I have now, my Liberian family, my American family. Overall, I'm grateful to be alive.